Today we will start the next program, N Wealth. Just like relationships, wealth is also your extension. How you feel about you, please understand. You are going to constantly earn something. If you are conscious, you will earn wealth. Otherwise, you will earn poverty, that's all. But you are going to be earning something. People ask me, why a Swami should teach about earning wealth? What you believe inside you directly affects whether you are wealthy or poor. There is a study done in US by Ohio State University which proves your religious belief directly affects your wealth. Basically, what you believe as life or you directly affects whether you are rich or poor. The ideas you have about wealth, the research proves that Jews are more wealthy, 3 times more than average. Based on their beliefs, whether you make money or not, whether you wanted to stay poor or make wealth, differs. The research, we will work on the concepts of money engram. Put your pen to paper without thinking. Just write whatever comes to your mind about money. Keep on writing. This will help you identify your thoughts and conversations about money. What do you think is your basic root thought, trend, or conversation about money? Do you see how it runs your relationship with money? What were the first thoughts and conversations you had about money, finance in your life? Recollect your childhood incidents where you first had an experience about money. Third, what are the wounds that got created in your relationships because of the money engrams? Describe vividly the incident, how the relationship broke, and the impact it has had on you and others. Start penning down.
Karna and second is Raja Bhoj. Because they will not give anything, whatever people ask they will give you. So you should be rich enough that somebody asks you or friend asks for help and you don't have to say no just because you don't have money. Money can buy comfort and security for old age. Money cannot buy love, but it can buy comfort for your love. Money can let you pursue your spiritual goal. I always wanted to become like a millionaire so that I can give that million to my family. And I said, my karma is finished with you know, and I can do whatever I want.
So money brings liberation.
Money brings liberation.
Then
But
come on.
Anyway.
Second answer.
Yeah, when I was young, I wanted to buy chocolate. And I did not have money. And I asked my mother and she said no. Then I knew where she keeps the money. And in like 1965, $10 was a lot of money. I took that 10 rupees and went to the store. And that lady said, you stole money from your home, let me call the police. That day I ran like anything and came back and put the money back.
You put the money back?
Yeah.
Because you heard about police?
Yeah. And then I collected some money in my money pot. And my father needed some money and he took the money out. After that I thought, saving money has no use. Just spend it.
All right.
And that's what I had become. But I need help on something here. My mother, I really loved her so much. I was a sick child from the birth. I had asthma. So I was always, I could not do much. So I was stick to my mother. And for longest time, like I I loved her, but she was so generous.
Uh,
We are family of 6 brothers and sisters,
uh,
but we will always have 10 people in home. Because whoever cries that my son doesn't have good education in the village, my mother will say, okay, bring him to city, and that's how, like 18 people in their lifetime, they stayed with us. And my father had a decent job, but nobody can afford that kind of
generosity.
And generosity to the extent that she will borrow money if somebody else asks and she doesn't have.
My father used to do this job, same thing. Let me tell you my first conversations about money. At the age of 3, as I think I told this story, I had a Ganesha gifted by my father, and all my family, friends, everybody gave me money because of 3rd birthday. And that money was lying in a kerchief in front of me. I asked my dad what to do with this. He said, whatever you want you can buy. I said, I don't want anything. I want only Ganesha, you already gave. Then he said, you can give it to whoever you want. I called my brothers and sisters. I said, whoever wants, take it. My one elder brother came and took the whole thing. Then my father interfered and said, no. Share with everybody. Tell them to share with everybody. I said, the moment I said I don't want, it is not mine. Whoever takes it, I don't bother. Even giving as I want claims the ownership. I don't even want to have that ownership with this. That was my first pattern. But I have also seen a lot of suffering because of overspending, which my father used to do and my grandmother, all of them used to do. See, like overspending means they won't do it on themselves. I know one side my grandmother was sitting, literally lying on thousands of sovereign jewelry, and she left and died. Other side, my another one grandmother, like as you said only, anybody in the village has any problem, this is the house for them. It's like an open house. They will come and stay here for any number of time. I know very clearly, I still remember, my grandfather brought like this only one boy from the village because father died. He said, come and be with me itself. He gave the education. This fellow loved and got married to my mother's sister. He became my uncle. Even then my grandfather was not angry at all. He said, it's okay. And he never stopped this habit of bringing, if somebody becomes helpless or orphan, he will always bring them. At least 25 kids who are not directly from my family or from the community were brought up by one of my grandmother and grandfather like a charity. But the poor fellows who they can't afford. They are doing charity which they can't afford. From there, I picked up this pattern of spending only when it is required. If you see our whole organization, you will not see anything luxurious. What about organization? Even in my personal life, there is nothing luxurious. Last 10 years, I am using the same car. Last 10 years, when I started the organization, somebody gifted me a car, Endeavour. Still, I am using the same car. Now I can, at least 3 times I have been offered Benz, 1 crore worth Benz. 3 Benz offering means gifts have come. I just smiled, and for the job I am doing, this Endeavour is enough, I said. For the work I am doing, this is enough. What Benz? I have been donated a private jet in Dallas. I said, no, it's like a maintaining white elephant. You guys will donate, true, no doubt. But who will maintain? For the job I am performing, I don't need it. It will be otherwise just like a pride, the symbol of pride. You will not see anything as a symbol of pride in me or around my Sangha other than these deities and the traditional items. This golden throne and all I have to do as a traditional thing. That is also not complete gold painted. How many of you believed all these things are gold? No. how will that be lying there if it is gold? How many believed all that and the throne which I am sitting and all is gold? Raise your hand. Oh God, no, it is not gold. It is not even gold coated, it is gold painted. Even this is gold painted. All these are gold painted. But they are maintained so nicely so it looks like a gold. There is something called lacquer coating. After the gold paint, they do lacquer coating. Once it's lacquer coated, it looks like a original gold and shines. So, there's nothing. Actually, my golden throne is cheaper than the seat you are sitting in your office. The seat you sit in your office, the executive chairs, they are more costly than that. But the tradition, so I leave it. Not having anything which is not a basic requirement. I learned that pattern because of I have seen unaffordable charities done by my elders.
So I did the same thing. I hated her to make us beggar even when we are making a lot of money. I see the same pattern in my life. I moved to America and friends ask for money. I don't have it. I borrow on the credit card and give it to him.
And especially, say, if you are from India and gone and settled in America, all Indians believe in America all over the road dollars are lying down. You just need a 2-3 gunny bag where you need to dump and you have to go on sending in the ship to India.
Right.
That's exactly Indians believe. Especially if you are from Indian village and went and settled in America, everybody has a ownership over you. In India, your money is not your money. Everybody feels, you have it, then why don't you give me? If you are having it, you are a sinner. That's exactly the trend.
And that became a problem with my wife. Because we both are Gujarati, but I am from a farming community and she is from merchant community. And she, for her security is the most important thing.
Vaishyas are totally different.
Right, she is Vaishya and we are Patel, farmers. So there is a constant trouble within her heart.
Where is she? I can understand.
So this has created so many engrams basically regarding this program. Thank you.
Come on. Let me listen to you. Give me the answer for the third question.
I can't say that I have wounds about relationship, but in my marriage, I got married at age 15 and was a homemaker for quite a long time. So I began to see that money is a tool to control. And so when I got
money is used as a tool in Indian families to control women. I strongly recommend all women to have your own money. Don't be controlled by money. I strongly recommend Indian women to have your own money, your own account. How many women don't have your own account? Indian women, raise your hand. Now go back and start your own something. Have something. I know husbands will, what is this? What is reaching to? See, you can control the other person based on mutual interest and respect, not on money. That's a very cheap way of controlling. I never accepted any money from my ashramites. When they come to the ashram, any wealth they have, I tell them, you keep it with you. They offer it at my feet. I say, all right, as a spiritual vow, I accept it. But legally, financially, you possess it. Let it be with you. Because I never want to control them based on they don't have money. I wanted them to be with me as long as they have respect and love for me. If they want to do something on their own or if they want to leave, they have their money. Actually, I am working in the other way. Even for the brahmacharis and brahmacharinis, I am trying to now do some life insurance kind of a thing. Even if they leave for some reason, after 3-4 years, they will not stand in the road for food. They will have some safety. So never control any of your family members by not giving money to them. That shouldn't be the way of controlling.
So at the time of divorce, obviously because he was in control, everything could be made to look whatever it is. And that left, that basically set a pattern for me for the future. I had already been going to getting education, and then I got jobs and all that. But because money was so important to sustain me, for instance, when I got badly injured also, I needed to work. So I continued to work, and my injuries continued to become very complicated. So my whole body structure is got some problem from top to bottom. So that's because of, if I felt that I had money, if I didn't have to work, I would have then taken time out to rest.
So this creates so much of in-depth wounds.
Yes.
I'll heal that. I understand. Sometimes a logical word, you see now any logical word I give won't heal. I can only heal you by flooding energy into it. I'll heal
I do also want to say that I took N-Wealth program while I was in Houston last year, and it gave me further more clarity and what I wanted. And since then, I moved to Jaipur last year, and I feel rich in my consciousness. I have everything that I need.
That's
I want.
it.
And so money is no longer an engram for me.
That's it. That is what is liberation. Let's gather for next session. Thank you.